On today's episode, I'll share a fast, fusible technique for creating custom signature quilts. Hi there, welcome to my first quilt show. I'm Sarah Gallegos, and in this episode I'm going to share with you a really fun group project that you can create where you're making a signature quilt. Now, this particular quilt was made at a quilt retreat. A whole bunch of my customers from my store went on quilt retreat with a great friend of mine, Denise Schober, who quilts a lot of my quilts, and each of the ladies contributed their handprint to this quilt. It was a really fun, fast project that everybody did together, and then we raffled it off at the end for charity. So it was a really fun thing to work with. Now, on every single one of these blocks, everybody got to create their own little handprint. Some people did a peace sign or an okay sign, a thumbs up, and then at the end, everybody signed their handprint after they stitched it. So I'm going to show you how we create this. So I'm going to pull the quilt out of the way and we'll get our materials together. Now, this would be a fun project that you could do at a baby shower or with a group of friends or even a graduation party. And all you need to do is give every single person that's going to contribute to the quilt 3 9.5-inch squares. You're going to give them each 2 light print squares. So I've got my 2 lights here, and then 1 dark. And on the back side of your dark print square, you're going to fuse a double-sided fusible web. And on here, this is where everybody gets to trace their hand. So you're going to lay your hand on, and then in whatever fashion you like, trace. And it really is best to try and be slow and careful about tracing, just so that you have kind of a normal looking hand. So we're going to go all the way around. And you could use any marking pen, it doesn't really matter because you're going to be cutting on the lines. It's not going to end up through your fabric, just like that. So here I've got my handprint. And now you want to go through and just cut as close to the line as possible. I've got a nice little short, sharp pair of scissors, and that helps me to be able to get in between the points of the fingers. This would be a fun one to do for even a teacher with all the students in class. Once you've done that, then you're going to cut on your marked line. And here I've got one that I've already cut. I marked a little sloppy on this one, so the hand looks a little bit funny. So again, make sure that you take your time and do it really carefully. Now you're ready to actually adhere your hand pieces to your background pieces. Now the reason that you've got 2 background pieces is because you do end up with both a positive and a negative impression of the hand. So I'm going to just peel off the paper from my fusible web. It peels off really nice. There we go. And I'm using a thinner product so that it doesn't end up really heavy on my quilt. And then you can lay your hand however you like on your piece of fabric, center it if you can. So there's the positive impression of the hand. Then if you want, you can also use the negative. So we'll go ahead and peel this paper off too. Now in my quilts, we only used the hand prints. We didn't use the negatives, but it's kind of neat, especially if you want to make it bigger or you have less people contributing to use both sides. So now I'm going to lay this piece right around the edges of my other background print, and there we have it. So we have 2 handprints. And at this point, you're going to just give this a nice press. Whenever I'm working with fusible web like this, I generally use a nice hot, dry iron, and you just want to fuse it in place really well. And then you're ready to stitch. Now when you stitch this, you can work with a lot of different stitches on your machine. You want to use something kind of fun. A zigzag stitch. Some of the ladies did straight stitch and they did a few passes around the hand with it. I'm going to show you what it looks like when you work with a blanket stitch. So here I've got my machine set up for a blanket stitch, and I'm going to start kind of toward the bottom of my hand. And you want to make sure that when you're working with decorative stitches that you get a good feel for where your stitch starts and stops, where the edge of the stitch is, because you want to kind of run the edge of the stitch right along the edge of your hand, unless it's something like a zigzag where you can go on and off. And then I'm going to just lower my needle to make sure that on my blanket stitch, the stem of my stitch runs right along the edge of my applique, and then we're ready to go. Now I'm working with a foot that's specially designed for decorative stitches because it's got a cutout on the underside so all of the threads can float through the back of the machine. The other thing that I like about it is that there's a little opening right in the very center of the foot, center needle position, and that really allows me to run the edge of that opening right along the edge of my foot to center my stitches. You could also use an open toe style foot just to keep those stitches nice and accurate. And I'm just kind of slowly curving around the curve of my hand. And I also made my stitch length just a little bit shorter because a shorter stitch length allows you to pivot around a curved edge a lot faster because the needle drops more frequently. So we'll just go right to the end of this little pinky finger here. I'm just curving around, and we'll stop for now. I'm going to go ahead and cut my threads. And let's take a look at what we've got. Okay, so here we have our little stitched hand, straight edge running right along the edge of the hand. This is a fun place to practice your applique stitching. And here's another example of what it looks like, again, with just kind of a more side-to-side motion stitch, a zigzag stitch, so not so worried about if it's exactly perfect on the edge, so that makes it even easier. And then on each of the hands, you can have each of your participants take a pen and just sign. And on here I can see that Jill even wrote a little note, peace, love, and quilting. And then you've got a custom handprint for each of the people that is involved in your event, and you can sew those together and create a cute custom quilt. I love seeing all the messages that my friends wrote on this quilt. This one says, "A friend is worth 1,000 stitches." That's my buddy Diane. I think that's really cute. And then of course, date your block too, so that you can remember when the quilt was created. Now when you put all of these hands together, these are put together on point. This quilt pattern is called counterpoint fusing, which is kind of neat. And then you've got all the blocks on point. So you do have setting triangles. And when we made this, we worked with a really cool collection of fabrics from Tim Holtz for Free Spirit, and it was just a neat background set. So instead of having those negative and positive handprints on this one, it worked best just to use the positive. So you can really play and experiment with that. Now when it's time to quilt your quilt, think a little bit about the batting that you're going to use, because you do have a little bit of extra stiffness in here because of that fusible interfacing. If you use a thin one, it's not quite as stiff, but you want to use a nice lightweight batting so that you still have a soft and flexible and cozy quilt. I like the Hobbs Tuscany silk because it's got a beautiful feel to it, and again, it leaves me with a really nice soft quilt, even though I've got all this fusible and lots of decorative stitches in it too. I hope I've inspired you to get a group of friends together to create a beautiful signature quilt. My first quilt is brought to you by Baby Lock, Madeira, and Hobbs Batting.